It's not that you don't know how to love. You just never learned it calmly. What if the problem has never been your ability to love? What if the truth is much simpler, and much harder to accept, that you've never been loved in a way that felt calm, safe, or steady? Love is often portrayed as passion, as fire, as intensity. Movies, books, and even our earliest experiences tend to link love with chaos. We're taught that love means highs and lows, that it's normal for it to hurt, that to be close to someone is to also risk drowning in their storms. And when you've only known love in that form, you might start to believe that's the only way it exists. So when someone accuses you of not knowing how to love, or when you tell yourself that, you need to pause and ask, is it really that I don't know how to love? Or is it that love, as I've learned it, has always been linked to fear, anxiety, or instability? This episode is not about blaming anyone for the ways love was first introduced into your life. It's about looking honestly at how our earliest lessons in love shape the way we show up in relationships today, and how we can begin to unlearn what was chaotic, so that we can discover what love looks like when it's calm. Think about your childhood for a moment. Not everyone grows up with love that feels safe. For some, love was inconsistent, it showed up one day and disappeared the next. For others, love came with conditions. You're worthy if you behave, if you achieve, if you meet expectations. And for many, love was intertwined with conflict, where affection and pain lived side by side. When that becomes your blueprint for connection, calmness feels unfamiliar, even suspicious. If someone is steady, patient, or gentle, a part of you may wonder, what's the catch? When will this disappear? Your nervous system has been trained to expect chaos, and so calmness feels foreign, almost untrustworthy. This is why so many people sabotage relationships that are stable. Not because they don't want love, but because the silence of safety feels unbearable. We confuse stillness with emptiness, when in reality, it's the foundation of lasting love. Here's a truth we rarely hear: you don't automatically know how to love just because you want to. Love is learned. It's shaped by how people treated you, how they showed affection, or failed to. It's built from the ways you were held, comforted, or ignored. If you've never seen love expressed calmly, it's natural that your version of love feels like chasing, proving, surviving. You equate love with effort, with tension, with trying harder to be enough. Calmness feels like absence, because you were taught that love must be loud to be real. But deep down, you long for something different. You long for love that doesn't demand performance, love that doesn't punish you for needing rest, love that doesn't disappear the moment you let your guard down. You long for love that breathes, slowly, steadily, patiently. Imagine this, a love where you don't have to prove yourself every day. A love where silence between words is not rejection, but peace. A love where someone doesn't leave when you're imperfect, and where mistakes don't mean abandonment. That kind of love exists, but it can feel unreachable when your history has only shown you turbulence. The good news is this: love can be relearned. Just as your earliest experiences trained you into chaos, new experiences, whether with others or with yourself, can teach you calmness. Healing doesn't erase the past, but it rewrites the script. The first step is awareness. Naming what you've been through. I've never been loved calmly. That sentence alone can shift your perspective, because it transforms shame into understanding. It's not that you're broken. It's that your foundation was built on instability, and now you're learning how to rebuild. So, what does it mean to love calmly? Calm love is steady. It doesn't rush or demand. It allows you to be flawed and still feel chosen. Calm love doesn't confuse drama for passion. It knows that intensity fades, but consistency is what sustains. Calm love doesn't shout to prove itself. It whispers, but in a way that never stops. It's the partner who texts not to overwhelm, but to reassure. It's the embrace that doesn't let go the moment things get hard. It's presence without conditions, affection without games, support without expectation of repayment. To love calmly also means to be loved calmly. To allow yourself to rest in that safety without searching for the next disaster. It's one of the hardest lessons, because when you've lived in chaos, peace feels unsafe. Here's where self-love becomes more than a cliché. To relearn love, you have to first practice giving yourself what you were denied. It starts small. Noticing when you're harsh with yourself, and replacing that voice with patience. Setting boundaries, not as punishment, but as protection of your peace. Allowing yourself to slow down without guilt. Every time you treat yourself with calmness, you teach your body, this is what love can feel like. And when you meet someone who offers the same, you'll be less likely to push it away. Let's be honest, love that is calm doesn't look as exciting as the chaos you may be used to. It doesn't create the roller coaster highs and lows that mimic adrenaline. It doesn't leave you anxiously checking your phone, or questioning your worth every other day. And that's exactly why it feels so unfamiliar. But calmness doesn't mean boredom. It means safety. It means having the energy to grow, instead of constantly trying to survive. It means being free to be your full self, instead of shrinking to keep someone else from leaving. Calmness is not the absence of love, it is the soil where real love grows. If you feel like you don't know how to love, remind yourself of this: you are not incapable. You're simply unpracticed in calmness. And like any practice, it takes time. It takes patience. It takes unlearning the lies you were taught about love and building a new truth, one steady moment at a time. Because love is not supposed to feel like drowning. It's supposed to feel like breathing. And if you've spent your whole life holding your breath, it makes sense that calm air feels strange. But that's not proof that you can't love, it's proof that you're finally learning what love truly is. So let me ask you, what would it feel like to let calmness stay? What would it feel like to trust that love doesn't need drama to be real? Could you allow yourself to be loved without conditions? Could you allow yourself to love without fear of it collapsing? The love you've always longed for doesn't need to be louder, brighter, or more chaotic. It needs to be steadier, quieter, calmer. And you don't need to earn it, you only need to recognize that you've deserved it all along. Final reflection. It's not that you don't know how to love. It's that you've never been shown a love that was safe, calm, and steady. And that changes everything. You are capable of love, the kind that heals instead of harms, the kind that stays instead of abandons, the kind that whispers instead of shouts. And as you learn to embrace calmness, you'll realize, you were never incapable of love. You were simply waiting to be loved in a way that felt like peace.